Well, hello, YouTube community people. Me again, and you might have seen a whole series of guitars I did for my friends at t.Bone, which were incredibly cheap. And as soon as those were out the door, my good friend Markus Quenzel showed up and said, hey, do some demos for my guitars. Now, this is as other side of the spectrum of the guitar world as it can get, and I'm extremely excited to show you these instruments. And not necessarily to have you buy exactly those instruments, but to show up at his place and say, hey, I saw this guitar, I want something similar, let's talk, here's my color, here's what I want, because this guy makes more unique, individual, instruments, hand-built, and pretty much as hand-built as it can get. Some of you might know, the word master builder. I buy a Fender master build, or a Gibson custom shop master build, whatever. What that means is it's one guy building the guitar from start to finish by hand, the way it's supposed to be done. Now, Markus is kind of crazy when it comes to being traditional, because there's literally a little tool that he uses to carve these completely by hand, and every guitar is the highest level of craftsmanship as it can possibly be. So you've already heard it in the track, you've seen the pictures. It doesn't get more, one-man show than these. And the price shows it, but also the playability, the whole feeling when you hold the guitar, and obviously that's what we care about, the sound. I'm hoping I can show you some of the sound, but obviously, in your hands, with your amp and your pedals, in your room, with your speaker and your microphones and all that, it will sound the way you sound. So this is what I get out of these instruments, and yours obviously will be different. On the other hand, if you're fast enough and right after this video you contact him and you want to buy this one, all 4 guitars that I'm showing in these videos are for sale. If you want the one that Henning Pauli played, of course it's going to be more expensive because, I held it, so, come on. So whatever. We're looking at the Quenzel Standard, or Standard. His names are kind of, standard. It's pretty standard. But what I love about these things is his very unique fingerprint in terms of design. You can tell a Quenzel when you see it immediately. He went with, let's say, a PRS-inspired shape, which simply means a double cutaway with a slightly longer cutaway horn on the top. So it's kind of like the Les Paul meets Strat cutaway kind of thing. But I love this natural binding that he does here, which is just an unpainted maple top. It's a quintuple A top. It doesn't get nicer than that. And it's incredibly deep wood, and it's not in any way like treated to get the grain out more. This is just the way the grain naturally looks, and this very nice, let's call it swoop, kind of like the Nike of guitars, is very unique to him. Also the headstock, they do end up to be about this much shorter than a standard Les Paul. Can you see that? This much shorter. She's smiling because she's thinking, yeah, that's your penis size. No, it is not. It is different. Anyway, the guitars are shorter, which means they're very compact. They are, on the other hand, fat as hell. Don't you laugh about fat? I'm not fat yet. So if you look at this is a fat-ass piece of mahogany, and it's, of course, guitars in that price range. That's a one-piece body, okay? If you can see here, there is absolutely no gluing points. This is a one-piece body. This is a one-piece neck, obviously. A very nice, fat piece of maple on top. The highest grade woods, and in general the highest grade components you can get, which is what you would expect in that price range. And obviously in that price range you have options. The reason why you would go to him is because you like his sound, you like his approach, you like the overall shape and his approach to guitars, and you want his guitar. Which I can only recommend. I mean, I have very, very nice guitars, you know that, and these can definitely compete with the best of the best. So, let's talk some specs and then we hear some sounds, but you've already heard sounds. So, this is the standard. It clocks in at roughly 4,000 euro. I'm gonna have to look down because that's my cheat sheet. The color is called a bourbon burst. A bourbon burst. Or a sunburst, or whatever you want to call it. Obviously, color anything you want if you're not buying this one. The body, as I said, is one-piece mahogany, flame maple top. It's a quintuple top as far as he told me. Mensur, which means scale. We're talking about 25 inch. Now we're talking about 25. No. 25 inch scale, which means it's a little bit more conducive to drop tunings if you wanted that. 635 millimeters. Rosewood fingerboard with very, very small, kind of, subtle abalone dots. The hardware, we got an ABM 3020 tailpiece made out of aluminum, or if you're in Britain, aluminium. Tailpiece and vintage, whatever, it's a 2500 ABR. It's just a typical Les Pauly two-piece thing. Okay? Les Pauly. The tuners. What are they called? They're from Schaller, and they're the M6 Mini top mounts. What I love about them is they have this very grippy... Can you show these? This very grippy locking thing. So they're locking tuners. And they actually have... And I actually think he retrofitted that. Wooden, and I would assume this is ebony. It looks like ebony. Wooden tuning heads. I mean, this is as fucking nice as it gets. Okay? Pickups. He's a super fan of Jason Lollar from the US, who's apparently this super mega freaky pickup guru. And obviously you have many, many options for pickups, but what I would do is he knows what works best in his guitars with his experience. Don't play around and, pick your pickups. He knows what works in this guitar. Jason Lollar Imperials, both of them. Electronics are CTS custom potties and a Lux Black Beauty, which is apparently a transistor doohickey thing, all probably NOS old stock was, I don't know stuff. And this is a Switchcraft toggle. Comes in a case, all that, and obviously, if anything's happening with the guitar, you have somewhere, some guy to go to. So, where does this go sound-wise? Okay, what are we looking at here? It's full mahogany, so we're knowing it's going in the Les Paul type area, but it's not quite as Les Paul as it, as a Les Paul. What it does is, all his guitars, the definition of the attack is insane. It's right there, it's very ploppy, but then the chords and everything just gets painted in incredible detail. So, before I talk more about this, I'll show you. There's no coil tap. Of course, if you want that, go right ahead, but Markus doesn't like it because he says this is a cleaner, more direct sound. So, we're going through the Sur here, just plain and straight. As you can see, the chord rings out incredibly even. All notes are painted beautifully. And we're gonna go in the middle. Markus is Mr. Quenzel's philosophy is when you go in the middle position, you should kind of enter Telecaster territory, which was new to me, but you know what? He's got a point, because this is going in that direction. An incredible rock guitar. That's what I would say and call it. Not necessarily an incredible metal guitar, even though you can metal with it, but this is just the all-round mahogany monster. You should have called it that, mahogany monster. Let's put on some reverb. I can never play that riff again. There's that ploppy attack. Very thick attack. Some delay. So let's do that. Because a mahogany sound would be nice if you played some jazz. Of course, I'm not good at jazz, but I'll try for you. It can do clean beautifully. So let's try some Dr. J comp driver, which will thin out the sound immensely and give you a lot of mids, but for a beautiful clone type lead sound. With some Strymon delay. noisy, that pedal. It's not the guitar, trust me. We're gonna go to the Gainiac from Milos Popovic from Serbia, Belgrade. What a guy. And we're gonna rock a bit. How beautiful all those notes are there. Let's have it scream a bit. Now we're talking. It's just fun to play, okay? But I'm pretty sure that that's really all you wanted to hear. No, there's another. You know, there's me playing a nice blues track with this. So that's coming up now. Go right ahead. How much fun was that? If you want it, below in the descriptions there's even a link to the backing track, which, you know, is from me, so you can download it. It's all good. I give you permission, download it, play on it. And as always in my videos, if you're interested in any of the shit I used, I put some links below so you can buy it. If you buy it at t.Bone, I get some points. I mean, really not worth talking about, but it would be nice if you support me. And of course, spread the word. Obviously links in the video somewhere around here to his Facebook page and his website. Visit him at the Frankfurt Music Show. Say Henning sent you. Hopefully, maybe one day I can lay my hands on my own Quenzel custom. Because, freaky enough, I'm gonna have to give these back. So, the Quenzel Standard. What a beautiful guitar. Check it out. Check him out. And if you're ever in the market for a guitar in this price range, this is the place to go. I'm out.